Trying to find the dumbest moment in the new Star Wars trilogy is like trying to find the wettest fish in the ocean. It could be the part where Leia uses the Force on her own limp body to fly through the vacuum of space after getting blown up. It could be the part where the gang falls through quicksand only to come through the ceiling of a cave, completely disregarding the laws of physics, as how could a soft body of loose sand also float as a cave ceiling? It could be the part where bum-ass Luke Skywalker dangerously pole vaults across a ravine onto a tiny ledge to then use the pole as a fishing rod, which is entirely pointless because a pole vault works on a pivot point, meaning he has the same area of reach as he would have if he just stayed on the other side. But I believe the dumbest moment comes from the beginning of The Last Skywalker, during a part that flashes by in a rushed edit that no one remembers because there are no stakes to an action scene in the first 10 minutes of a movie. Watch closely.
Ha! Get us back to base! How thick do you think that ice wall is?
Okay, so let me break that down. Finn, Poe, Chewbacca, R2-D2, and this motherfucker are flying through a system of tunnels in an enemy base that's built into the side of a mountain or something. TIE fighters are chasing them, action, whatever, they stand no chance because Poe Dameron has been repeatedly established as one of the best pilots in the galaxy, and also Finn can shoot them. In the middle of the battle, Poe asks Chewie how thick he thinks that ice wall is. Chewie says something to the effect of, "Very thick," and the next shot is the Millennium Falcon bursting out of the side of a mountain. This scene portrays our heroes taking the most iconic ship in the franchise and not using it to continue the fight, but instead flying it face first into an opaque wall. Poe has no reason to assume this wall, which isn't transparent or anything, is any thinner than any of the other walls that TIE fighters keep exploding on. It's just another wall. Poe is trying to take his own life. In 14 million other Doctor Strange timelines, Poe flies into a solid wall with a Millennium Falcon and fucking explodes. Imagine that getting back to Rey and Leia, like, "We intercepted enemy intel. All of our friends gave up the fight and slammed it into the side of a mountain." Have you ever been running from the police and thought, "I should probably floor it into that tree just in case it's hollow"? Poe's the best pilot in the world, he can't just turn around or keep following the tunnels? Well, okay, could he have? Let's review the tape. Right before Poe asks Chewie how thick that ice wall is, we get a shot of no ice wall, just a tunnel. Nice edit, guys. They definitely didn't want a shot of the Falcon flying headfirst into a wall because it would look stupid as hell. Let's give Poe the benefit of the doubt and assume he was looking at a wall that had a big flashing sign that said, "We intentionally thinned out this natural cave wall to be 2 feet thick. Have at it." For one, if this wall was any more than a foot or two thick, he might be able to bust through it, but real-world consequences still apply and the ship should be pretty damaged, maybe to the point that he can no longer escape at all. Point number 2, let's not forget he's in a glass fucking cockpit. The entire Star Wars franchise has a tough time reminding us of this, but the cockpit's actually sticking out of the right side of the ship. Maybe the front of the Falcon can get through a wall that's a couple feet thick, but the part of the wall that wasn't pierced by the front of the ship would absolutely annihilate Poe and Chewie and their glass cockpit. There is no outcome where Poe flies his ship into an opaque wall and doesn't die. Either it's solid ice and rock like every other wall they've flown past, or the debris from the thin wall they broke shreds Poe to pieces in the side cockpit. This is something the sequels actually do. They're really cavalier about the idea of our heroes smashing through whatever they want. The Last Jedi shows Finn and Rose repeatedly bursting through walls while riding their space horse, because that's what animals do, run into walls hoping they're thin. And then of course Holdo sacrifices herself in the lightspeed scene, and the pieces of her ship rip through every enormous enemy ship like they're made of paper mache. What's going on with the structural integrity in the Star Wars universe? In the real world, if you ride a horse towards a wall, it freaks the fuck out, and if you fly a plane to the side of a cliff, it explodes. Poe, as far as I'm concerned, canonically tried to commit suicide with his friends and failed. I want an alternate cut of Rise of Skywalker where Rey receives word that Finn and the rest of the space crew intentionally crashed, so she flies to Tatooine and buries the lightsaber. Then the old lady asks her what's her name, and she goes, "Oh, I have no fucking idea, it sure isn't Rey Dameron."